Hare Krishna. We are in the 4th chapter of Bhagwat Gita as it is. And from the very beginning of this chapter, Krishna first told us the history of Bhagwat Gita. And then how his birth and activities are transcendental. And anyone who will try to understand this earnestly and sincerely will never come back to this temporary material world where there is so much of pain and sufferings. And the only ray of hope and happiness is to surrender onto the lotus feet of Krishna and do all the duties very sincerely only for the happiness of Krishna. And then one can be liberated from the endless cycle of birth and death. Krishna so lovingly and mercifully is teaching us how to escape from the bondage of the reactions of our actions. In the previous verse, Krishna said that one who leaves all the desires of enjoying the fruits of his actions and does all his duties very enthusiastically, very nicely, is truly an intelligent person. And such a person's all the past and present reactions of the actions are burnt in the knowledge of his true self, that he is an eternal servant of Krishna. Jiver Swarup hoy Nitya Krishna Das. And Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that he must do everything only for the pleasure of Krishna, and by doing so, he will also become happy as he is the part and parcel of Krishna. This knowledge is called being in Krishna consciousness. And being in Krishna consciousness is the most simplest thing. Just do everything only for Krishna and not for your own happiness. And just relax. Krishna will take care of everything. Now let us start today's verse, that is verse number 20. And in this verse, Krishna is teaching us how to be ever satisfied and independent. So first, let us recite the verse number 20 of chapter number 4. Tyaktva karma phalam sangham nitya tripto nirashrayah karmanya abhipravartopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya trapto nirashrayah karmanya abhipravartopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Tyaktva, having given up. Karm phal asangam, attachment for fructive results. Nitya, always. Tripta, being satisfied. Nirashrayah, without any center. Karmani, in activity. Abhipravartah, being fully engaged. Api, in spite of. Na, does not. Ev, certainly. Kinchit, anything. Karoti, do. Sah, he. Krishna says that the person who, after abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, is ever satisfied and independent, and he performs no fruitive action, although he is engaged in all kinds of undertakings. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya tripto nirashrayah. Krishna says that the person who, after abandoning all attachments to the results of his activities, is ever satisfied and independent. Nitya tripto nirashrayah. Further, Krishna says, Naiva kinchit karoti saha karmanya abhipravartopi. Karmanya abhipravartopi, it means that he performs no fructive actions, although he is engaged in all kinds of his undertakings. Naiva kinchit karoti saha. Now let us read the purport of Srila Prabhupada and understand the shlok properly. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Srila Prabhupada says that this freedom from the bondage of actions is possible only in Krishna consciousness, when one is doing everything for Krishna. Prabhupada further says that a Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he has no attractions for the result of the actions. He is not even attached to his personal maintenance, and for everything he has left on Krishna. Nor is he anxious to secure anything, nor does he protect anything that already he has in his possession. He just simply does his duties to his best ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Such an unattached person is always free from the resultant reactions of good and bad. Prabhupada further says that it is as though he were not doing anything. And this is the sign of akarma, or actions without fruitive reactions. And any other act which is devoid of Krishna consciousness is binding upon the worker, and that is the real aspect of vikarma. Prabhupada says that the people, those who do all their actions only for the happiness of Krishna, is actually akarma, and any other action which is without Krishna consciousness, means which is not for the happiness of Krishna, definitely binds the worker with the reactions of the action, and this is really known as vikarma. Now let us understand word by word, sentence by sentence, Srila Prabhupada's purport. In today's verse, we are going to learn that how to be ever satisfied and independent. And secondly, we will come to know more about akarma and vikarma in greater details from Srila Prabhupada's purport. Srila Prabhupada is saying that only a person in Krishna consciousness can be free from the bondage of the reactions of his actions. And this happens because he knows that he is the part and parcel of Krishna, and he serves Krishna with pure love in the form of doing his prescribed duties, which includes doing all his responsibilities towards himself, his family, his nation, and towards the entire creation. Srila Prabhupada says that we don't have to leave our present work. Prabhupada says that we need to do our work only for the happiness of Krishna and not for our own sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada further says that we don't need to change our nature of work, whether it is Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. They all may continue doing their present job for the happiness of Krishna, as Krishna instructed Arjun to fight in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjun wanted to leave his prescribed duties, but Krishna did not approve of it. And then Krishna gave the knowledge of Bhagwat Gita to Arjun. And the same Arjun, after understanding Bhagwat Gita, he said, Karishya Vachanam Tav. This is exactly what Krishna expects from us also. And this is the main aim for giving Bhagavad Gita to us through Arjun, so that we don't get entangled in the reactions of our actions and do all our work only for the happiness of Krishna, the way Arjun did. Srila Prabhupada says that until the work is done for the happiness of Krishna, it is sure to bind the doer with the result of the work. And the result of any work be either good or bad. It means that if the work is done in accordance with the scriptures, but with the desire of getting some fruits for sense gratification, then it has some good result. But it is temporary, as nothing is permanent in this temporary world. And if something is done which the scriptures do not permit us to do, then it is bad result. So either good or bad consequences. It is for sure going to bind the doer, which is not good for any person. It binds the individual person in the endless cycle of birth and death, and the individual soul is forced to accept one after the other species in 84 lakhs of varieties. Srila Prabhupada says that a human body is very rare to get, and if it is wasted in only eating, sleeping, producing children, and in accumulating the worldly riches, worldly things, then it is a sheer waste of human form of body. Prabhupada says that in only human body, one can understand who is the Supreme, who is He Himself, what is this nature all about, and what is his relationship with the Supreme God. If a person doesn't do all this, then he goes in the lower species of forms like water creatures, birds, crawling creatures, trees, and four-legged animals. And after crossing all these species, again he gets a chance to become a human being. This is why it is so important for all the human beings to study and understand Bhagavad Gita as it is. In today's verse, Krishna says to leave all kinds of attachments with the results of the activities and be always satisfied and independent. Tattva karma phala sangam nitya tripto nirashrayah. And then Krishna says in the second line that although he is engaged in all kinds of prescribed duties, but he performs no fruitive actions. Parmanya abhipravartopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Srila Prabhupada explains that when a person completely detaches from all kinds of attachments with the result of his action, he becomes completely free from all anxieties. He just does all his work with full enthusiasm and with all his abilities, and just does not bother about losing or winning, because he is completely dependent on the mercy of Krishna. And such a person is always satisfied and independent. He attains this stage because of his complete faith in Krishna. He knows Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. It means that Krishna will surely protect me. This person is neither anxious to have anything material, nor does he fear about losing something that he already has. This is the highest stage of satisfaction, contentment, and being independent. Normally, we see people being dependent on some powerful people or on family members or on friends. But a Krishna conscious person is only dependent on Krishna and does everything for Krishna's happiness and is always satisfied. And this happens because he has the perfect knowledge that Krishna is the root cause of all the causes. And when Krishna is happy, he automatically becomes happy because he is the part and parcel of Krishna. And when this person does anything, he only does akarma. Akarma means doing actions for the happiness of Krishna. And the opposite of it, which means doing work for one's own happiness and not caring for Krishna's happiness, is vikarma. Because all the scriptures teach us to do the actions for the satisfaction of Vishnu or Krishna. So now it's very clear to each one of us that doing work for the satisfaction of Krishna is akarma, and doing work for one's own sense gratification is vikarma. And by doing akarma, a person can become nitya tripta and nirashraya, which means eternally satisfied and independent. Srila Prabhupada says that by being completely dependent on Krishna, a person becomes truly independent from the material world. Now I am very sure that each one of us have clearly understood the secret of how to become eternally satisfied and independent. I thank Srila Prabhupada and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Hari Mohan Prabhuji, for making us understand the most secretive knowledge of Bhagwat Gita. And I thank each one of you for listening to Krishna regularly and with so much of attentiveness and patience. Now we shall meet next week with a new verse. Till then, keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and please do share the Bhagavad Gita videos with others as well. Please do write your comments in the comment box, and in case you have any questions, then please write it down. I will surely try to help you to give answers by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and His Grace Hari Mohan Prabhuji. Till then, keep chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and be happy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.